So in the last video, I installed these VS Code extensions that we've been using. I got my list from our blog under Visual Studio Code extensions down at the bottom of Docs. And the big thing to note is I'm not using W3C validation because I'm having some difficulties installing and configuring Java on this laptop, this Windows 10 laptop. So I found HTML hint, which installs much cleaner, and I'm going to see if it can replace W3C validation. So these are my extensions, and now I'm ready to actually clone Project 5 and see how it installs. So I can go back up here, close, whoops, not close that. And I know I've noticed this new button, Clone Repository. For right now, I'm not going to be using it because I'm not quite sure it does what I want it to do. So I'm going to stick with the tried and true way of doing this. Open folder, go to find documents, create a new folder, right click, new folder, call it P5 lowercase, select that folder, and then come in to terminal, new terminal. And if you remember, I installed Git for Windows, which allowed me to make Bash my default shell inside my terminal. So here's my GitHub account. Make sure that it's on the repos homepage. So down here, I have the clone button. Click on that. Click on the clipboard to copy that. Come back into VS Code and type git clone. Then paste that in. Make sure I do another space and a dot. Go ahead and hit return on that or enter. And as this is my first time with this machine, I have to give it my login credentials. So let me do that. Let's hope I typed that correctly. And I must have. Okay. So there we go. I can close this terminal now. Go ahead and close the welcome message. And I'm just going to make a small change in my README file, just as a test. And go ahead and save that. Now I know that I haven't completely got all the credentials that Windows wants. So I'm going to go ahead and open up a new tab and search for Git or GitHub cheat sheet. In fact, It's already there. And the big thing that Git for Windows wants is these two lines under setup, git config global username and git config global user email. So I'm going to come back here, and before I try to commit, I'm going to open the terminal again. Copy the first half of this, Control C, come back over, Control V to paste it, and then give them my username. Do that again for my email. Control C, Control V. Go ahead. I'm going to actually do a git config minus, let's see, minus global list. Oops, maybe not. Let me try just git config list. Minus list. Try it one more time. Git config. There we go. So we can see some of the configuration. It seems to have a lot more than the Mac OS. But we should, yeah, we now see username and email. And I hit Q for quit. It got out of that listing. Okay. So now if I open up the Git icon and write a message, add new line to my README, go to checkmark to commit, then come over here to the ... and find push. And there's our little line going across. Come back over here, refresh this screen for my repo, and there's my new commit message. And if I scroll down here, there's the new line. So that's it. This is a working device. Actually, let me do one more thing. I'm going to actually go in here and try to create an error. I'm going to leave. Yeah. So I've created an error. This no longer has an ending quote mark, and the HTML hint has given me a squiggly line there and changed the color of the file name here. So I think it's going to be okay. Obviously it's not the same red squiggly line that I had before, but it should be fine. It gives you a little hint that there's an error on the page, and that's the big thing that we're looking for. So let me use Control Z a couple of times. There we go. Put it back the way it should be. And that's it. I have a development environment on this new laptop, Reach out to me with any questions or issues. As I look down here, I see live share. I may work to see if I can incorporate that into some of the online learning that we're all going to be doing in the next couple of weeks.